No
All right.
problem.
All right.
Okay, we are officially live. We are on Facebook Live. We are on TikTok.
We're on the YouTube.
Yep, we're on YouTube.
Yes.
And so I have to ask the opening question: how's everyone doing out there tonight? It's Thursday night. It's not Wednesday. We typically come to you on Wednesday, but we had to punt one day.
Yeah, I'm going to
So
share here. So share the
yeah,
Facebook.
while you're doing that, let me start to say hello to everybody and welcome. My name is John Gardner. This is my wife and law partner, Radeline Mendoza, and we are the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza, celebrating our 26th year.
20. I like to say 25 plus one.
25, our
If
25.
you can do math.
That's right, our 25 plus one anniversary. So we are very, very, very
Threw
excited.
John off there.
I was like, I know the word. It's yeah. Anyway, but yes, we come to you once a week, and we would like to bring you immigration updates. We like to answer your immigration questions if you have them. We have different subjects, and usually the subjects that we pick are based on questions that we're getting. We've been getting a lot of questions about the 39 country and 75 country bans. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. If you have a question about that, that's great. If you have a question about something else, that's fine too. Go ahead and put them up and we will get to them. I do want to warn you that what we do here is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. And I also want to introduce, we have a very, very special guest with us tonight who joins us often now, which has really been a nice
Yes,
treat. Why don't you go ahead and introduce Odette?
it's been great. So Odette Batchelor is a recently retired USCIS senior immigration officer. So what that means is she is sitting on the other side of the desk that we are sitting on as immigration attorneys, and she's looking at the case in sometimes a very different way, sometimes in a similar way, but she brings 42 years of experience working with USCIS and INS, and that was Immigration Naturalization Service before 9/11. So, welcome, Odette. If you've seen any of our videos previously, Odette really brings a great uh, insight as to how you should be filing your applications. And I will say how you should be filing your applications is you should be filing your applications. And Odette agrees with that.
Hello, everybody.
Advice,
That's
yes.
right. That's right. What a great opportunity, Odette. Thank you so much for joining us. It's having you on as my dad would say is way cool.
Way cool. We get to sit back and watch Odette answer the questions. It's great.
Well, it brings a different perspective. I mean, we're attorneys and we are there with our clients, but wow, this is an opportunity to really figure out what is going on in the mind of the officer sitting across the desk that's reviewing your case. What are they focused on? What are they worried about? What do they not like? What are the red flags? What are they, concerned about? So on and so forth. So yeah, that's cool. Thank you for being here.
Yes, and just I do want to
Thank
say
you.
that we didn't just find Odette off the street.
That's right.
I've known Odette for 25 years, so I've been going to the immigration office for like 27 years, and Odette came in a little bit after I started, and so we've been colleagues and friends, and we share information. We've sat in on conferences, coffee with the field office director.
Yeah.
I Odette knows that I was the one, raising my hand, asking the questions.
All the
and
time.
and so we're very close. I'm I consider Odette a friend, and I'm happy that she's retired now, so we can actually really act like it. Anyway, all right. So do you want to give just sort of a
Yeah, there's a couple things going on here. There's a 39 country travel and benefits pause. This is affecting immigrants already inside the United States. This between December 2025 and January 2026, this policy, that's when it was phased in, and it pauses the processing of visas, green cards, work permit renewals, and citizenship applications for individuals who were born in the 39 targeted countries. I'm not going to read all 39 countries, but you can look it up. Or if you have a specific question
Yeah.
and you're wondering about a specific country, then I can certainly let you know. This is currently active right now. As of today, it is still active. And so we are just keeping an eye on it. And we're going to talk tonight about what does that mean if you're in from one of these 39 countries and you're here. What does that mean for you? What are some of the do's and don'ts, and what can you expect?
Right.
There's also a 75 country immigrant visa suspension. And this is for people who are outside of the US who are attempting to immigrate through consular processing. And this is also currently active. So if you're from one of these 75 countries, this suspension is still in place. The administration has cited public charge risks and national security directives to justify the reasoning for this. And so if you're wondering what they're basing it on, rightly or wrongly, that is their reasoning. Okay, so those are the two big groups,
Right.
39
Yep.
and the 75.
So, and just this week, immigration attorneys across the country have been sort of sounding alarms. If you're on TikTok, you can see all the immigration lawyers out there on TikTok saying, hey, forget about the 75 country ban, forget about the 39 country ban. This is the ban we all have to worry about. I'm kind of actually just sort of doing what some of these other attorneys do. And I'm going crazy. Like, this is the ban that you have to worry about. And it looks like a general, CBS is calling it enhanced security, where applications are being quote unquote paused. And I'm doing air quotes because it's too early to know exactly what's going on. But this is something that I'm sure that if you're reading it, if you're seeing it, you're very concerned about, say, your adjustment of status application or your N-400. It really has to do with biometrics from what I have learned. And that if you have not gotten your biometrics within the past couple of years, you rerun the biometrics or ask you to do your biometrics again, and that can cause a delay in your case. I don't know, Odette, just from sitting on the other side of the table, these delays, which I think, as John mentioned, we've got the people who are in the country and the 39 countries, there are going to be delays there. But with the ones that this information that just came out, what do you think about, is it a pause, or is it just we're just doing what we normally do? And if there's enhanced security that needs to happen because of an initiative, then that's what we're going to do. It's not like we're putting all these cases over here and not looking at them again. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's no different than what they have done in the past before. If everyone remembers back during the 9/11, everything pretty much shut down for a moment, and they did a lot of what they're doing right now, the enhanced security checks. Yes, it does take a little longer in processing. It will take time for all the checks to be run. They will rerun on applications that have been pending for a while. So it's going to take a minute, but it's not totally paused for like months and years. It's just the way they do their security checks. It's no different than 9/11. That took a while. That took a lot of toll on a lot of people working in the background, getting all the things done. And you got to remember also, with the federal government, there has been a lot of people that have left. So, they're working with minimal manpower right now. They're still hiring, still trying to get that back up and running to a certain degree. So they are working to get it done. I will say that don't think you'll see it in a week or two, but at least they are doing it. It's not like they're not going to get your case done. Again, continue to file your applications and not hold off because you said, you see it's a pause. Well, I won't file till later. No, don't wait. Get it done.
Right. So with these types of pauses, when you say, people are thinking, gosh, it's everything is paused, and you say don't wait, let's kind of look at it in the context of, say, a marriage case where someone is eligible to file a marriage-based adjustment of status case, and say they're from one of these countries, not the 39 countries, but one of the 75 countries. Number one, I'll just say here that doesn't impact cases that are filed within the United States for those of you who are in the United States. But say this thing that just happened this week with this quote unquote enhanced security.
Mm-hmm.
Why shouldn't they wait? I mean, why they don't want to go through enhanced security? Why would they file?
You don't want to be in the United States with no papers showing that you have done nothing. You're just sitting around, because at this point, your visa could be coming to an end. Say you came in legally, but now you have nothing to show that you have anything pending with USCIS. And to get the ball rolling, especially for work cards and travel cards and things like that, you want to get everything filed. So when all the security stuff has cleared, those documents will start rolling in. You have your receipts, you're like next in line. It's first come, first serve.
First come, first serve, right?
Mhm.
First come, first serve.
We say first in, first out. Same
thing.
concept. Same concept, different
Right.
words.
Yeah.
It's like taking a number at the deli.
Yes.
Right. If you
Exactly
never
it.
get to deli, you're never gonna get
That's right. You're never going to
boar's head ham.
Yeah. And I wanted to add to that, because the 75 countries, when we're going back to that one for a moment, you were talking about with the pause right now here, and the moment they decide to lift it or whatever, that things will go faster, and you'll want to make sure that you're in front of the line. Same thing with those 75 countries. I failed to mention that there is a case pending. It was filed in February in the Southern District of New York, and it's winding its way through the courts. And, if the Supreme Court were to just rule on that next week and say, oh, this 75 country suspension is unlawful, and just get rid of it, then bang, it's game on again, and you want to make sure that you're ready. So this stuff is very fluid. And you said that, Odette, and I wanted to tie it back to the 75 country suspension as well.
Okay, let's grab a couple of questions. They may or may not be related, but let's get the questions.
Yeah, we're gonna get these questions going.
Can I go out of order? No, I'm not going to go out of order.
Go ahead.
No.
What do you want to get to?
No, let's just go in order. That's not fair. Let's go first in, first out with these questions too.
Right. Who took the very first number at the deli tonight?
That's right.
They may have wandered off to get some bread, but they are still first. Okay. Blueview wants to know, for someone who's in the country of the immigrant's visa pause, is the K-1 visa still available?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
And call us for that. We love K-1s.
Okay.
They are, they're taking a little bit longer than we would like, but again, first in, first out. I think that, no one asked this question, but one of the big misconceptions that people have of the fiancé visa is there's just one part to it. And that one part is to file the K-1, the I-129F, and boom, my fiance is here in the United States. That is so not true, because you still have to go through National Visa Center processing and consular processing. And then once your fiance enters the United States, then you have to go through adjustment of status. So it is a multiple step process. And guys, no, the 90 days does not mean he or she or they will get to the United States in 90 days. It means
right.
that you have to get married within 90 days after your fiance arrives. So you don't know how many people who have come to us and who's like, I'm so excited. I want to file this 90-day fiance. Of course, that's a TV show, right? And yes, we're excited that she's going to be here in 90 days. It's like, nope, it's not 90 days. imagine they're surprised when I say it's going to be more like a year and a half. So anyway, give us a call. We'd be happy to help with that.
Yeah. K1 all day.
K1 all day bypasses that because it's not an immigrant visa.
Okay, Joyce says hello.
Hello,
Joyce.
hello.
The next question I have here is any updates regarding paused countries for I-130 processing like Rwanda?
Yeah, so really good question. And it kind of goes back to, you know, you've filed your I-130 petition, right? And let's just say you filed it 5 months ago. Well, you still have 12 and a half months of processing for that case to be approved by USCIS. Then it's going to take 60 days or so for USCIS to transfer your I-130 to National Visa Center. Then you're going to be at the National Visa Center for 3 months or 4 months. Then you're going to have to wait until an interview can be scheduled when a slot opens up in your spouse's country. So here, how many months have we added on? We've added on almost a year. Hope that this pause is lifted by then. And it just kind of goes to Odette's point, like, look, gotta file it, because this pause is not pausing USCIS doing work, right? Has that ever happened, Odette, where USCIS is completely shut down? I mean, maybe COVID, even COVID, it wasn't. You guys were still working.
We were still working.
You were still working. So has there ever been a time in the 42 years that you've been processing INS USCIS applications like I-130s, let's just go with the I-130, where we're not doing that because there's some kind of a pause?
No, they're still being worked.
Yeah.
Even though there's a pause, they're
Right.
still being worked.
Yep.
So they're
Okay.
looking at the application, making sure they have all the documents, making sure things are being cleared. They checking all the things. So when this pause is lifted, they're ready to make a decision.
Right. And honestly, you could, if you're doing a consular processing case, your I-130 petition can get approved potentially. You're getting stuck at the interview. I mean, they may even interview you and pause it there, so you can go through multiple months of steps before hitting that pause. But that's a really good point that they're still working the case. USCIS, from what I know, has never been closed. You guys,
Never.
there's no. I mean, you even when the government shuts down because it's a fee-based agency, right?
Right.
Right.
Still
Always
working.
So hear
like
that,
7-Eleven.
You hear that, folks? You're not just hearing it from us.
Exactly.
You're hearing it from a seasoned immigration officer, essentially telling you to stay calm and carry on and push forward with things. All right.
Okay. Great question. There's a comment here from Teresa from YouTube. I'm not sure if there's a question, just a comment. What about the father that have their children and they do not have a right to see them? Do you think that's fair? Depends on the circumstance. No, it's typically not fair, but not my area. That's family law.
Right. Okay. Any update on Rubio versus Clinic? It's Clinic v. Rubio. That's the case I just cited a minute ago. That's from the Southern District of New York, filed in February. That will take some time to wind its way through the courts. That is one thing I will say, that litigation proceeds slowly. Sorry.
We write a lot of briefs and they're long.
Well, I don't want to bore everyone to death, but one of the reasons it goes slowly is because it works its way through. A lot of times an appellate court will then send it back to the lower court, and then it goes back to the, it takes time. It bounces around a while before it ultimately goes to a court that can issue a final decision on it.
John was he did a lot of the trial work. What the public, when they think about a lawyer, what does a lawyer look like? It's John.
That's right.
When people think about immigration, a lawyer, they don't think, oh, immigration. They think about what John did, which is standing in front of a judge, a jury,
I did.
and, arguing the case, filing briefs, and everything else. But okay, sorry.
Yeah, and appeals take time. That is just a fact. Okay, David wants to know, hello, I won the green card lottery. Did my interview, but it's pending. Pause. Any update?
Ooh.
So here's somebody who has
Again, we don't, yeah,
go ahead.
we just don't have an update on when that pause is going to be lifted, unfortunately.
Okay, Boo Boo, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, if I'm not, sorry about that. But he's the K1 question. He wants to know
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
how much you charge for a consultation,
we
and he would like to hire an attorney.
we don't charge enough. Anyway, but I'm just kidding. We charge $295 for a consultation. You'll probably meet with me, go through all the steps, and we'll take a look at what you have and when you've last seen your fiance to make sure that you're eligible. We'd be happy to talk to you. And all of our initial consultations, even if you're in Virginia Beach, where our office is done, they're all done virtually. So we would be happy to talk to you and schedule that. Just give our office a call, 757-464-9224, or you can just DM me.
Email.
Or email, yes, thank you. info@gmlaw.net.
Yeah, it's really a good idea. I know that it might seem for some of you like it's money you don't want to spend on a lawyer of all things, but it really is wise to have an attorney assist you with these matters. We're lawyers, so you're probably thinking, well, of course they're going to say that. Odette, I think you would back us up on that you see when you're dealing with experienced immigration lawyers, you see fewer mistakes. Things tend to go more smoothly because the attorneys know, they know what they're doing. They know how to file it. They know
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
It's much better, especially when we've been dealing with a lot of attorneys on a regular basis. We know which ones have everything in order. Like, oh, great, we got this attorney. They got everything in order.
Right, and they know. That's great. So yeah, just give us a call, and we'd be happy to talk to you.
Right. And for those of you just joining, I would just like to introduce everyone again. My name is Radlin Mendoza, and this is my law partner and husband, John Gardner. We started our law firm 26 years ago, Gardner Mendoza. We're based out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, but we serve everyone in the entire world, all 50 states. And our guest, and she's what do you call a person when they're a regular guest? Is it just regular guest? Okay,
Just regular.
Our regular guest here is
right.
Odette Batchelor, and she is a recently retired USCIS senior immigration officer, and she also did a lot of other roles, acting roles, and really we have a lot of knowledge here, and we're excited always to come to Thursday night Q&A with Odette, because she provides a really great insight. So if you have any questions directly for Odette, maybe you've got an interview coming up, go ahead and ask the question. And tonight we're talking about the pauses and the
pauses and the bans, and going back to those briefly. A couple notes that we had jotted down earlier, some things that we wanted everyone to we've been touching on them a little bit here and there, but before we get to the next question, we do want to emphasize that even if you're from one of these countries, to not abandon the process. So whatever you've got going on with your process, if you have appointments or you have something you're supposed to be doing, you should continue to do it. Even though you're from one of those countries, you should carry on as if everything was normal. You should also try to do whatever you can to protect your status. As Odette mentioned, the thing you really don't want more than anything is to fall into a position where you're here and you have no status. That's the thing you don't want to happen. If possible, you want to stay abreast of all the changes. I mean, there's a lot of changes going on, and so try to stay on top of it. Of course, the best way to do that is to have a seasoned immigration attorney handling your case and let them stay on top of it. And then the other thing I would add is the travel. We get a lot of travel questions. We haven't been getting as many lately for whatever reason. That was really
people aren't traveling.
That was really the thing.
Maybe, yeah.
But this would be also not legal advice, but it's probably wise for you to not travel internationally if you're from one of these countries. I would recommend sticking around. All right.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Great recommendations.
Okay.
All right.
And then now we just wait for the question, well, what if sticking around is going to result in my falling out of status? Which one trumps there? Okay, I'll just wait for it. Nenden wants to know, hello, sir, ma'am. How long should I wait for an I-130?
Well, it depends on who you're filing for and whether you are a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident. I can say that U.S. citizens filing for their spouse, their parent, or unmarried son or daughter under the age of 21, those I-130 petitions are taking 17 and a half months. If you're filing a standalone I-130 petition and your family member is doing consular processing, so they're not here in the United States. If your family member is here and they are eligible for adjustment of status, then it just depends. I think that right now in our jurisdiction, which is Norfolk, it's about 20.5 months. So hopefully that answers your question, but it really does depend on who you're petitioning for. I mean, if you're a U.S. citizen, if you're a lawful permanent resident and you're petitioning for your spouse, that is taking a very long time for USCIS to approve that I-130, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay, here's a question that came in pretty early. In ICE detention and Department of Homeland Security wants to dismiss the case. I guess she's talking about a loved one because he was wrongly processed. Will he stay here? So you've got somebody who's in detention. They've decided, oh, this was a mistake. We shouldn't have taken you into detention. We're going to release you. What's likely to happen to this person?
Well, I think
we need more facts.
It really depends on, I mean, if you are their U.S. citizen spouse, maybe they can adjust their status here somehow in the United States. A lot of times we have many clients who come to us. They have a U.S. citizen spouse. They've entered the United States without inspection. And we have to go through the provisional waiver process. And that's a really long process. And while you're going through that process in the United States, you're not protected, right? You're not protected. And, but that is a possibility. It is a legal remedy that you can pursue. But again, we'd have to find out a whole lot more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if this person does not have any family members in the United States, they're removable because they don't have status and they have no way to get their status. And so there are millions of people in the United States, unfortunately, in that situation. But you can give us a call. We may be able to help.
Yeah. When we know more facts about it, more details, then we'll be able to better analyze it.
Let's invite Divine 716 to join us.
Okay. Oh, I forgot all about that because you're here and we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, we sent the invitation. Okay.
Okay. Jolie wants to know, I'm a green card holder. Can I petition my spouse?
Yes, you can petition your spouse. Now, this is something that it doesn't keep me up at night. But when I do hear a question like this, and when I see that people may have delayed in filing an I-130 petition for their spouse if they are abroad, if they're not here in the United States, because they did not know that they could do it as a lawful permanent resident, it does make my stomach hurt a little bit, honestly, because I'm like, oh, you could have had your spouse here years ago. That I-130, as I mentioned, is taking a really long time right now. But again, depending on your circumstances, generally speaking, though, we're not recommending that you wait to file that I-130 petition. We don't recommend that you wait until you become a U.S. citizen. A lot of people do that. Right? They're like, okay, I'm just going to wait until I become a U.S. citizen, but your spouse isn't here. So you might as well get that I-130 petition cooking, right? Get that priority date when you file. And again, there are some limited circumstances where we wouldn't recommend that. For example, if, you have minor children and that as a permanent resident, the minor children can fall under that I-130, and if it's already been filed and pending. So, I mean, limited circumstances, but don't wait to become a U.S. citizen before filing that I-130 petition. And that includes unmarried children too. So lawful permanent residents can also petition for their unmarried children, any age. Doesn't have to be under 21. A lot of people think if I have a 30-year-old son, I can't petition for them as a permanent resident. That is just not true so long as they are unmarried. Odette, have anything to add to that?
No, no, you can't.
Wow,
You said it all right there.
knocked it out of the park.
You really
There
did.
is a longer visa waits, of course, filing as a permanent resident.
Yep.
But yes, you can file for them. But the visa waits are just longer.
Right. That's the
Okay.
one that I wanted to answer first, by the way.
Yeah. Oh well, I knew we'd get to it. I knew you'd want to because I know that's one of your pet issues.
It's one of my pet issues. I mean, you all don't know how many times we've seen this. And it's really especially unfortunate when you're a permanent resident and you didn't know about being able to petition for your child. And then your child turns 21. And then you hear from me that, oh, you could have petitioned for him a long time ago. And now he's 21 and now it's taking 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, we've been talking tonight primarily about the 39 country ban and 75 country pause. And M wants to know, is the pause also affect adjustment of status?
Yeah, I mean, it can. It depends on if you're from one of the 39 countries. Yes, your adjustment of status is going to be held until this pause is lifted. If you are one of the 75 countries, no, that is only affecting cases that are outside of the United States, immigrant visa cases that are outside of the United States. And when we talk about immigrant visas, we're talking about people who are trying to permanently immigrate to the United States as lawful permanent residents of the United States. So tourist visas does not apply for that 75 country man. B1, B2s, oh, that is a tourist visa. F1s. Okay. and so you need to get clarity, and it just really depends on where you're from, and if you're from one of the 39, yes, it can affect it.
Right.
Sorry, if the applicant is from one of the 39 countries, not the petitioner.
Country pause is OG Will earlier said it's separating families. No doubt.
It is definitely separating families, and we even with fiance visas, immigrant visas without the pause, we always recommend to our clients and the people that we talk to is like, keep the lines of communications open, because your relationship needs to withstand the long distance relationship. And really, sometimes your spouse or your fiance doesn't think you're doing anything, right? You ever get this, Odette, or you maybe interviews or
normally when they would come into the front counter and ask these questions, and they want to call them and put them on the phone so we can tell them that yes, they did file. It is taking a long time.
This is such a great example because your spouse or your fiance back home, they don't know what's going on. They have no idea. And it's good to have an attorney to be able to explain that, just to take the heat off of you, right? And Odette just said, like, when they had InfoPass appointments, they're like, can you please talk to my spouse, because they think I'm doing nothing here, and like
they think they're lying.
They think they're lying.
They want proof.
This is what I know. Like, they're not telling me this, right? But I can tell. Like, I can tell where the spouse or the fiance on when we're doing these Zoom interviews, where they're coming, they're just like looking at it's not his fault. not trying to call out genders here, but it's not his fault, right? The process is going. He waited 11 months before he called an immigration lawyer because he thought he would be able to do it on his own. So yes, you can definitely give them a hard time about that. But now there's this long wait, right? So anyway, get it filed. Yeah. And for the U.S. citizen or permanent resident petitioners who are here, I mean, get an immigration lawyer if you want to save your relationship, because we will tell them and we will file it. We're not going to sit on it because we know what to do.
Right.
We know what to do. So
All right, we're coming short on time here. Actually, we're over our time now. But
no,
Odette, I'm
because
gonna-
it's until 9. 45
oh,
minutes.
it's 45
45
minutes.
minutes tonight.
45 minutes tonight. Well, we got
We
all
had
the
a
time.
time. We had a time.
We have all the time in the world. Okay, I didn't get the memo on that.
Okay, we have a question.
Me either.
I'm going to send this one to you, Odette, real quick. Wayne wants to know, after my interview, the case shows that the case is actively being reviewed by USCIS. What does that mean?
That
Yeah.
means that long as you're not in one of the pause countries, it just means that the officer may need to look at more things. Maybe additional backgrounds need to be run. Maybe they're about to send you a request for evidence that maybe they didn't mention, and they noticed as they were going through their checklist, like, oh, I forgot to get this from them. And you may be getting additional notice in the mail to send in some other updated documents. It doesn't mean anything bad unless you know more than we know from the interview.
All right, Wayne. So you know how serious this situation is.
That's right.
Well, and so the follow-up question is, how long does it take? How long for the answer from you guys after the interview?
After the interview, it
If
can
there's
take
no
anywhere. If
if-
there's no RFE or anything, yeah, about 30, 45 days at the most.
Gotcha. I should probably change my answer to people, because we always get the green card 1 to 2 weeks after the interview.
That's because they use an attorney.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
There you go.
I'll take that.
Mhm.
I'll take that.
Okay. You want to get some questions from Facebook here?
Oh yeah, right. Let's see. What does it say? You read the question, because
Okay,
because of
Ruby wants to know,
the lighting in here.
my adjustment of status got denied because of a pending J1 waiver. Is there any problem if I go home to my home country? And how can I convert a J1 to an F1?
Well, here's what I would say, Ruby. One, you need help, right?
Definitely.
You've got the pending J1 waiver, right? So you filed the I-45 without first getting the waiver. So let's just say it was an NOS waiver, right? Let's go not as intricate as a hardship. So you filed that, and they can't approve it because, right, you're subject to the residency requirement. So the issue, I think, that when we were like, the issue with changing from the J1 to F1, I mean, are you still in lawful status? That's my question. Because if you aren't, then you may not be able to change. So please give us a call. Our number's on the screen there, 757-464-9224. You can send us an email, Ruby, to info@gmlaw.net. And we'd be happy to take a look at your case with you and help you out and see what the best route is for you. All right. So let's grab this one too, because we grabbed a bunch. Can you read that?
All right, Lang wants to know, says, hi, my friend went to the Philippines for a vacation without the physical green card. Is it okay to just have the receipt or the paper that says it was renewed and waiting for the physical card? Is she going to have a problem going back to the US?
Where's the physical card? Okay, we don't know. Lang can't answer us back, right? Can she? She could write in the comment. Is she going to have a problem? I don't know. That's going to be a CBP issue.
Yeah.
I would say probably.
Yeah, where is the physical green card? Because if you know where it is, FedEx could be the
right.
It's
pending.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
Oh, the new green card is pending. Okay.
Well, the new green card, but does she have the old one? Like, she has some green card, right? So we're letting our clients know that, when you leave the country, let's say you file an I-90, right? when you leave the country, you need to leave with your passport, your expired green card, and your I-90 receipt. I'm not sure if that's the situation we have going on here. But if she has her old green card and she has that I-90, which is extending the validity of that green card, she should be fine coming back in. Hopefully that helps. And hopefully that's the situation. If she has no green card and just has the piece of paper, I think she'll still be able to get into the United States. Maybe she'll be paroled in. But I think she'll still be able to get in. What do you think of that? We're totally guessing right now. By the way,
She's vague on a few things, but she'll probably be sent to secondary.
Yeah, right.
Secondary will look her stuff up for her. They have the same access as USCIS. And after a few questionings, I'm pretty sure they'll, in a good mood, may let her in.
In a good mood.
In a good mood.
That's really relying on a good breakfast, and coffee.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Let's hope it was a couple fried eggs and some rice.
Yeah, or toast, or pita. All right. Should we grab a question here?
Sure. So
Great questions.
Yeah, Chan wants to know, I'm scheduled on May 23rd for citizenship.
Awesome.
Congrats. And my wife's petition is an I-130. How can I expedite?
Yeah, I mean, we would typically, once you swear in to become a U.S. citizen and you have your certificate of naturalization, then we would inform USCIS of that. So we write a letter and let them know that our client has naturalized. And that typically is going to put that I-130 petition on a different track, which is the spouse now of a U.S. citizen, and it's going to be faster to adjudicate. And someone asked me this question, so, I mean, are they going to immediately approve it, like a week or two? And I'm like, no. No. Mm-hmm. They are not going to approve it a week or two after you submit your certificate of naturalization to USCIS. No, it's going to still take several months. And again, it depends on how long that I-130 petition has been pending, right? If it's only been pending for 5 months, you still have 12 and a half to go as a U.S. citizen. Okay.
All right. We've got a couple questions here. We've got some long ones and short ones. Let's take this short one real quick. Paulina wants to know, can I travel inside the country as a 1-year green card holder to go to a concert?
Inside what country?
I think
Our
you'll
country?
Be fine. Oh, I'm reading it as inside domestic travel. 1-year green card holder wants to leave her state and go to another state to a concert. Do I have that right, Paulina? If that's the case,
you're good.
Then that's absolutely fine. If that's not what you're talking about, then
what is it?
Clarify.
So, who gets a 1-year green card? I'm confused about that. Is it non-immigrant?
Maybe she got a 1-year stamp in her passport while she waits for the new one.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe an immigrant visa, which is valid for 1 year after they come in. There's no 1 year
too. Yeah.
There's no 1-year green card.
Or maybe she just means that she's just had it for a year so far. It's just a translation.
Have a great time at that concert.
No, but you got to tell us who the concert is.
You are good, Paulina.
Yeah, Paulina, you have to tell us though.
Did we skip this one?
Well, yeah, because this is a short one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You want to take the long one?
First in, first out, unless it's a long question.
Well, the short one was just, I knew we could dispose of it quickly. Okay. The question here, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Ohms wants to know.
BTS concert. All right.
US, a year. Okay. So she's in the US.
She's been in the US for a year. Okay.
She's been a green card holder for a year, and she's going to go to a BTS concert somewhere. Okay.
That's awesome.
Enjoy. Okay. Ohms wants to know.
John doesn't know who BTS is. I can tell.
You know how she could tell because she knows me.
Because we've been married for like 28 years.
Yeah, if I did know, I would make some comment about the band because they're just any. Yeah,
it's a Korean pop band.
Oh, okay, great. Let's enjoy that. Okay,
enjoy that. Okay, it's getting late.
concept.
Let's
Okay.
let's get this last question
Yeah,
on
almost
as
wants
well.
to- Hi, I'm from the Philippines, and I recently had my I-485 interview about 2 weeks ago
Yay.
for a marriage-based application. My case was filed back in February 2024. Given the enhanced security checks happening recently, should I expect a longer wait time for a decision? Is it more likely to take a few weeks, or could it take several months?
Odette, we'll let you grab this question since you're
Yep.
you're the
You can take us
you're
out
the
tonight,
expert.
Odette.
You can
And I can reread it if you want.
She's one of the pause countries.
no Philippines. She's just talking
Philippines.
about this week's recent reporting on enhanced security pause. Her question is it going to take a few weeks or could it take several months?
If the interview went great, no extra documents needed or information, I would say a few weeks.
Yay. We'll end on that.
Yeah.
Yes, let's end
A
on
few
that.
weeks. I concur. Hopefully, let's fingers crossed
Yeah.
that it just takes a couple of weeks and not a really long time. But
Yeah, best of luck, Combs. I hope it's fast.
all right.
All right, guys.
So our normal programming time is Wednesday nights from 8 to 9. We had to
Wednesday from
change
8
it
to 9.
to Thursday. I'm so happy all of you all were here.
Mhm.
Amazing questions. And I like to always say that, thank you for your questions, because when you ask the question, I know it's not just for you. Other people are listening and, learning from this information and
absolutely.
from our responses. So thank you so much, Odette.
And Odette, thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. It's always such a pleasure to have you here.
Yep. And we're
Thank
going to
you.
do some BTS after this.
That's right. We're gonna crank it up.
We're going to watch the documentary. All right. 2 thumbs up. Thank you, everybody.
All right, 2
you guys
thumbs
are
up.
amazing. See you next Wednesday.
All right.
All righty.
Take care, everyone. Have
Bye-bye.
a great night.
Bye.